Legion Tactical Cutlery.
Hold the line!
Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Grugs here, Legion Tactical Cutlery. Welcome back once again, troops, legionnaires, and any new recruits. And as always, really appreciate you all taking the time to check out my channel and my videos. All right, in front of you, we see the Sitivien ST15 in DC53 tool steel. Excited to put this to the test. Going to do my best with something this small and this stout. However, we do need to test. So let's get to it. What's everybody carrying today? Today I did a little trade with my son for the day. I'm going to carry his Benchmade SOCP in D2 steel. What are you all carrying? Veterans, active military, if you need something small to carry with you out into the field, this might do the job for you. But we're going to be putting it to the test. Just want to say thank you very much for your service. Enjoy the video. Quick specs, let's get it done, troops. Once again, this is the Sitivien ST15 in DC53 tool steel. Overall length is 8.27 inch. Blade length, 4.02 inch. Blade steel is a DC53 black Stonewash. Blade hardness, 60 to 61 HRC. Blade thickness, 5 millimeters. Blade width, 1.18 inch. Handle length, 4.25 inch. Handle thickness, 0.79 inch. Handle material is a removable black micarta. Net weight, 7.5 ounce. With the sheath is 10.56 ounce, and it features a full Tang lanyard hole, Kydex sheath, and a TecLok. Quick close-up of the knife and the sheath. Now, remember, I did a Legion premiere on this. You can get a lot more detail of this knife. We're going to just do a quick close-up. As you can see, there is the dagger-style blade, and it tapers down to a really stout point. It is fantastic, pretty good for a self-defense knife. Flat ground on both sides, actually on all four sides. And it does have this fuller with some holes. We're going to put it to a little bit of a test, some stress testing, and see how the holes hold up. I would have liked to have seen this without this particular guard. However, it is what it is, and it's not so bad. The handles are done very well. I just added the lanyard. It has a lanyard hole, removable scales here on both sides. Everything is symmetrical, very nice and even. All right, so in the nighttime, you will be able to tell the orientation of the knife no matter what because of the flat scales here instead of a rounded scale like some of the older knives of World War II. And I'm excited to test this out. Let's take a look at the sheath. Now, as I promised, I did carry this for a while. I carried in the upright configuration, and now I'm carrying this in the scout configuration. The way this is set up, it's a little bit on an angle, upright angle, okay? So on the small of my back, it's more of an angle rather than being straight like this. It is like this. So it's a slight angle, which helps in grabbing the knife quickly and easily. Decent style pancaked style sheath here, Kydex, high quality. Once again, go look at my Legion premiere of this knife. I've been enjoying carrying this. There is that drainage hole, and then the TecLok for scout or horizontal, vertical carry, sorry about that. Adjustable tabs, which is perfect the way I have it set up on the small of my back. Once I am done showing you this setup, I will be putting this back on my belt. Nice package. Little noise, little rattle. Easily fixed maybe with a heat gun, but it hasn't come out. Looking good. Now, let's test this out. For the time being, troops, I'm still here in Florida. I can only go to a park and do this testing, so I've been purchasing most of my stuff from either Home Depot or a store, like a supermarket, for my wood. Now, I've got some really hard wood dried from a kiln, and I'm just going to do a little light chopping. I understand that this is more for self-defense and stabbing. We're going to do some of that too. However, I want to test to see how the edge holds up. So, you know, let's give it a go. I know a subscriber was a little disappointed that I used or purchased a fence post. You know, he said it was soft pine. listen, try and break it with your hands. Try and cut it with your hands. You can't. So, you know, it is what it is, and I'm doing the best that I can. Just want to let everybody know that. Now, no more bullshit, and let's get to work. Okay, let's give it a go. Let's test this out again. This is a hard piece of wood. I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to do a little batoning, vertical, horizontal, and then I'm going to do a little stabbing in this, okay, and split the wood with this. Again, I have no illusions, but it's a channel that tests out knives, and this is one of the best ways I know how to test out these knives. Now, if you notice, I'm chopping right now with the ST15 DC53 side. I will be testing the other side in a little bit. So I'll do these two angled corners over here with this side, and then I'll flip this around and chop with the other side. So definitely not a chopper. But I guess if you need to delimb something, fishing pole, spear, or whatever, you know, pick the scenario. You know, if you need to delimb something that's straight, but it has branches, this will be capable. Okay, notice the DC53 ST15 logo side. I'm just going to swap it around now to this side over here, okay? So let's do that. Yeah, okay, good. Let me just check. I'm actually, it's such a stout small blade. I'm actually hitting my knuckle on the wood over here. Again, not meant for chopping, but a channel that tests out knives. So let's keep on going. So far so good. No damage to the edge. You know what? The chopping is not very good. So you know what I'll do instead? How about we do a little batoning? Hopefully I get this in the camera properly. Here we go. Let me switch to this side now. Okay, you could see that it went in pretty deep, which is good. That edge looks good on both sides so far. Now, just remember, this is not a thin edge, but a very thick edge, okay? So I've noticed not the greatest slicer. However, again, it's not made for slicing. It is made, you know, for combat, for self-defense. In any case, again, let's keep going. All right, you can see it's going all the way around. It's a square piece, so it's a little awkward. I'm doing my best. Keep on turning them around. Whoops. Okay. All right. Good enough. Good display. That edge is looking good. All right. So again, just a small demonstration of edge and how it held up. I'm just curious to see. Okay, it is making the curl so far. Just switching it back and forth. Okay, just a small demonstration. So far, so good. Let's do a little vertical horizontal batoning, just for the hell of it, just as a test. All right, let's do a little vertical. Platform is stable. Nice. Let's do it again. Good. One more time. I know you don't do this with a dagger. I know. Again, I got to keep on reiterating this. This is a channel that tests out knives. And if push comes to shove, you got a nice, stout, thick dagger that will do the job here, okay? So, firebox stove, you know, you're a hiker, you're doing the Appalachian Trail or one of those trails, you want something for self-defense and to use out in the woods, well, here you go, man. You got something. You got a little something. One more time. And the thickness of the blade is, you know, splitting the wood, no problems whatsoever. Let's do a little horizontal batoning. Before I do any kind of horizontal batoning, I want to make this a little bit flatter so it's not so awkward, and then I could do the batoning. So again, this is another piece of that dried hardwood. Okay, this is good. 1 second, troops. All right. So once again, I was able to do some vertical batoning. Now I feel a lot better and safer for the horizontal batoning. So let's do it. Using the whole blade. Actually, let me start from the center. Beautiful. Okay, it's split. Let me do it again, just to make sure I'm safe. Let me turn this around. I think that's the right way. Excellent. Okay, let's make them even smaller. Now, I'm batoning and cutting at the same time, so testing out the edges on both sides, and so far, so good. I just noticed that my handles are coming a little loose, so I might have to pause and get my toolkit just to tighten these up a bit, but as you can see, okay, this is wood for a firebox stove. So if you had a little log that you picked up in the woods and you need to make you know, a small campfire for a coffee or a firebox stove, the knife did the job, and it's still doing, you know, what it needs to do. Okay, now I tightened up the handles. They're a little bit tighter. Let's test out this tip. So I've got a nice thick piece. I got a couple of nice thick pieces over here. Let's test out the tip, right? Nice. Tip is there. Now let's go against the grain. Okay, at least it's split through, and the tip is still there, not bent. Okay, not the most ideal way to do a tip test, but I wanted to do it that way, so it's split. Now, got something a little bit thicker, a little heavier duty. I'm gonna go right by this. I think this looks like a little knotted area over here. Let's see what it does. Nice. That tip is stout, it's robust, and she's working pretty good. One more time. Looks good. Now I've got even something a little bit thicker. Let's give it a go. In fact, let me go in the middle, in the center of this piece of wood. Beautiful, okay? It did go through. It went all the way through. And that tip looks pretty straight to me. All right, check it out. Okay, this is not the pine. This is that hard kiln, dried kiln. Kiln? I forgot what it was called. So this is, I think this is some hard oak, but as you can see, man, that tip, kicking ass. It's not breaking off like some other companies, okay? And yeah, she looks good, man. Looks fine, edge looks fine. I think we're good on the tip test for now. Okay, something a little different, okay? Let's say you find this resource on the floor. You know, this could act as a cup and as a funnel. Who knows? You know, so I'm using this to cut myself a cup. Right, I have a cup now. And now I have a funnel. A funnel that you can collect water. So the edge seems to be sharp. Okay, so hopefully some people have appreciated this. Now, one thing that I did notice, because once again I need to reiterate about this dagger, this particular dagger. This is a very stout dagger. Okay, it is made for, in my opinion, self-defense. You know, you're gonna need to protect yourself with this knife. So I noticed that the edge, instead of being like this, it is like this. So I have noticed that trying to make feather sticks and curls are a lot more difficult. All right. Can it do it? Push comes to shove? Yeah, it'll do it. you know, and I don't know if you noticed, but it is making some of the curls, but not as easy as some other, you know, some other knives might be able to, you know, like a bushcraft knife or something, you know. I mean, they're just very, very thin, small curls. Again, it's just the angle that I noticed is very, very wide, and it's not giving me that nice, you know, thin, you know, shaving that I'm looking for. Like this, just as an example. So this knife is very thin, the secondary bevel. This one is like this. And it has to be, I'm assuming, because if you're gonna, you know, use this for a combat or self-defense, you're gonna need something stout, something strong to penetrate, right? I mean, if you needed to puncture this through somebody's throat and then punch out, it'll do it. You know, it's still sharp enough to do it. Like I said, here, let me get rid of these over here. And that big one, you know, it'll do the job. They're not going to be the greatest curls. They're not going to be plentiful curls. And it might take you a little while, you know, and then you could use your lighter to light it up. But that's the facts about this knife, troops. So I just want to let everybody know. But it is sharp because it cut through this plastic without a problem. Okay, so just bear that in mind. They have a couple of different daggers. You should go take a look. And I've tested out both of them. They're fantastic. But this one has a, you know, again, a specific purpose, and it did a good job. So another quick example. I know there's a plastic bottle, but stab, push out, right? There you go. You mean to tell me that's not going to go through somebody's throat? So it did, you know, again, not as sharp to do the finer work like feather sticks, but if you're going to do the down and dirty work, you know, this knife will do the job. Okay, troops, I've got some material here that maybe law enforcement, military, and first responders might encounter. Let's see how it works out. Okay, first I have some paracord over here. Maybe this is good for a paratrooper, somebody doing some parachute, and you need something to cut away. All right, did a good job. Law enforcement or military, if you got somebody in ties, whoops. All right, it cuts. I have some plastic tubing over here. It's actually solid. Whoops. I don't want to waste it, so I'm just trying to, and I have everything nice and neat, so I'm just trying to find, okay, here we go. Sorry about the background noise, but they are cutting the lawn over here. Figures I had to pick a day that they're all cutting the lawn. All right, that went right through easy. Some of the plastic tubing. And I don't know what side I'm using. All I know is that, you know, I'm using whatever edge that I can. I got a little bit of the thin rope over here. All right, I gotta admit, a little tougher, but again, I'm assuming it's because the angle of the edge is, you know, pretty large. It's still cut. And now I have something a little bit thicker. Let's see how it performs with the thicker stuff. Okay, that's one swipe. Let me try the other side. There we go. Okay, good. So, again, specific purpose for this knife. Push comes to shove, you know, you gotta use it. It'll still work. It's doable, And I still think that this is a good knife to be out in the field for, you know, combat situation, self-defense type situation. Again, I've been carrying this on the small of my back, and you know, you're not going to slice people to death. You're gonna want to stab at the eyes, poke at the eyes. You know what I mean? Poke at the throat, especially if you know something about some form of self-defense. At least that is of my opinion, and that's what I was taught in Krav Maga. So, let me know what you think. I'm kind of curious. There you have it, troops. The Sitivien ST15 in DC53 steel boot dagger. Okay, there's a definite purpose for this knife. Is it meant for the outdoors? No. Can it do some of the outdoors? Yeah. So it depends on, you know, how much you like the knife. Is this something that you want to take out with you? You know, a lot of people obviously can't do stuff for self-defense. Where this might shine is more for military, law enforcement, EMT type of situations. And I think that this is, you know, where this knife, you know, really belongs. And for civilian, if your state allows it, a self-defense reason. You know what I'm saying? However, I think it did a pretty good job. I did do these off camera using that knife. I wish it was the edge, the secondary bevels was a little bit thinner, but again, they did it for a reason. It's a stout blade. It is meant for, you know, self-defense, and some, you know, hard use abuse, and hopefully I was able to show you that, you know, this knife is capable. It does have some limitations. It's not an outdoor knife. It did well, in my opinion, and you know, I'm proud to own one, and you know, I'm going to be carrying this into the woods, etc. once I get back to New York, which I will be heading back in about, you know, 10 days. But we are currently looking in Florida to come down here full time, so I'm excited about that. Troops, Legionnaires, new recruits, thanks again for taking your time to watch this. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this knife. I want to bring awareness to everybody. Hashtag 22 a day. Hashtag 22 a day no more. There are veterans in active military who wants to get out of the service. They do face a lot of challenges. Unfortunately, one of these challenges is suicide. So at the end of this video, pause on the slides. There'll be phone numbers that you can call. There are websites that you can surf. You know, do research, find out some information. If you know somebody, reach out to them. And to those who are in need, seek the help you all have earned and deserve. Troops, Legionnaires, new recruits, thanks again. At the ready, troops, hold the line. Take care. Legionnaires!